Well, what we got going on here right now is we're about ready to put this Ferrari on top of this car bench here. What's really great about this car bench is that not only is it set up for Ferrari, but this is how Ferraris were built. Car bench makes the jigs to specification for Ferrari when they build cars. I have car bench out here, and they're here to help me set this up. Everything is set up exactly to millimeters. This distance here is exactly where Ferrari says this thing should be. This hole right there is going to bolt up to a suspension point. And it's going to go right in here on that point right there. To do that necessitates us taking off this suspension. We know we won't get those two on, those are off. So if we can get these two on, then what we'll do is we'll pull the frame over to fit those four corners. The key and the most important part about having your frame straight is for your handling and your braking. Your handling and your braking don't work very well if your four corners are not square. Something that's beautiful about Ferrari, they're very innovative in what they do. They made these beautiful cast structures sitting right here. There's four of them, the four corners. They're made out of cast aluminum. They're precision built for the suspension and the shock and the coilover to bolt onto. They made these four corners. Then they built the car body around them. So as you can see, this is cast, this is regular sheet aluminum welded to cast. Well, it was a fun day. It was kind of a short day today. What we did was I took the front bumper off. It took a little while to access that. Some of the bolts were covered up with a kind of a sealant, kind of a glue. Usually bumpers are always held on the front with at least 4 bolts. Now the upper ones weren't covered, but these are. It probably has something to do with leakage. Now one of the things we'll do in here is this will all have to be cleaned out real nice. Find the proper sealer, this elastic color, and then when we put it all back together again, tighten those bottom bolts, we'll find this type of a sealant, put it back on, squirt it in there, same color, look completely factory. See, these are the ducts, the air ducts for the front bumper that go in, hit the radiators, and it goes in here, and then the hot air drops out the backside. I then attacked the dash. And the problem with the dash was pretty simple on this side, but as you went over to the left here, this entire side on here has been crushed in so far that there was a hard time to access it. I didn't want to destroy the dash, so I spent extra time finding the bolts, working them out, getting up into the inaccessible areas. Now I have to reiterate about this, what's so beautiful is that so much of what goes in here to save weight, which makes them such special vehicles, which makes it a joy to work on and difficult to work on, is that so many pieces in here that didn't need to be cast aluminum are made out of cast, small, just bracketry. Of course, this is what raises the price, but also it's where they save £1 here, 3 pounds there, using cast aluminum or sheet aluminum instead of using steel. And I'll show you an example of that in a minute. Once I get this one bolt off. There we go. This is cast aluminum. Okay. They put a little rubber, it's a urethane end on here so that when you go up and down, you don't feel the aluminum touching anything. Now what I'm going to do right now, put the bolts back in here, get everything back in so they don't lose anything. I got all the wiring marked so I can put this thing back in very, very quickly. It makes the job. The 20 seconds it takes me to write something down can save 5 minutes on each step of the wiring. I've got all the bolts bagged, all the nuts bagged, all the specialty screws that hold the outside of the dash on. So when I put it back together, again, those screws are marked to go exactly where it's supposed to go. So those screws that you can visually see are going to look exactly like they were when the car was brand new. Okay, this is basically a cross brace that mates the lower dash to the upper dash and holds a lot of the accessories, holds a lot of the wiring. This is where it got nailed. Should be straight like this, close to it. What we're going to do is we're going to end up straightening this corner right here and getting that straight. Not a big deal. Pop this out. I might have one more wire up in here for the sensor. There we go. One perfect dash. Not even cracked in here. It took a little while, but we got the dash out. So next week, we're going to start pulling this. We're going to be working with aluminum, sheet aluminum and cast aluminum. Something that I'm proud that we have the ability to repair, something that's very unique in the United States. Till next week, this is Leif Hansen with Leif's Auto Collision Centers.